Iran has launched a massive counterstrike across Israel tonight after Israel targeted Iran's nuclear program and key military leaders and scientists on Thursday. While the United States says it did not participate in the Israeli offensive, it is helping shoot down incoming Iranian rockets. It seems hope for a diplomatic solution is dwindling. For tonight's interview, we are joined again by Mona Yacoubian, director of the Middle East program at the Center for Strategic and International Studies. Mona, thanks for being with us again. Last night you said that the Israeli prime minister thought the window was closing. He sure did. So they have taken this action. How do you assess the situation at the moment?
Well, I think we're at a very precarious moment in the Middle East. We've witnessed unprecedented strikes by Israel on Iran, both in terms of their breadth and scope. And now we've also seen multiple barrages of retaliation by Iran. So the region is really on a knife edge in terms of this level of hostility and where it could go. It's a very, very dangerous moment.
Mona, let me linger for a moment on the scale of the Israeli attack. This feels like the big, well, who cares what I think? What do you think in terms of the scope and the complexity of this operation?
Well, we've never seen anything quite like this. We've seen various targeted strikes by Israel in the past, but nothing like this, targeting nuclear-related sites, ballistic missile sites, assassinating leaders of both the military and paramilitaries, and also assassinating nuclear scientists. So by any measure, an attack that is wide-ranging and clearly seems to be intended to dismantle entirely Iran's nuclear infrastructure.
Help me understand your assessment of the U.S. involvement. We, on the one hand, have the Secretary of State Rubio saying the U.S. was not involved. On the other hand, you have President Trump hinting that he knew and maybe he was a part of a long kind of counterintelligence, kind of psyops war by pretending he was having some distance with Israel. Help bring us to the ground truth here, as you understand it.
Honestly, I think the ground truth this evening is still going to be somewhat elusive. Not entirely clear how much the U.S. knew about this attack or whether it greenlit the attack. It doesn't seem that it did. In any event, the U.S. seems very much bound not to engage in an offensive way. So we are seeing U.S. military assets come into the region, but for defensive purposes, to intercept Iranian missiles and drones.
What's your concerns about how this spreads, and what are you looking for in terms of that danger?
Well, you know, when you have this level of kinetic activity across the region, there are all kinds of ways in which there could be unintended escalation. There could be countries that are drawn in intentionally or unintentionally. We could see Iran's proxy, the Houthis, decide that they want to engage in this and bring that element into the fight. So, you know, unfortunately, there are myriad ways in which we could see this conflict escalate.
And what do you think happens about this Sunday meeting, supposedly by the president's envoy and the Iranians? It's supposed to be still on, but what do you think?
I think the prospects for it happening are very, 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 very low. The Iranians have said they're not going to engage. Oman, which is serving as the mediator, has said that the talks are suspended indefinitely. So hard to see those talks go off on Sunday. And honestly, I don't think we will see nuclear talks happen anytime in the near term.